Hello. Welcome to Vinyasa Yoga. My name is Monica and I'll be leading you through today. All you're going to need is just some space for yoga and a playlist if you feel like listening to something you like. And that's pretty much it. And just a can-do attitude. So let's start on our backs. Okay, so starting really easy, really slow. If you prefer to sit or stand to start, that is up to you. So, settling in, closing the eyes. You can keep your feet however you want. You could have knees bent, legs straight. And bring your hands to either your stomach or your heart, just grounding the palms someplace. Taking a deep breath in and out. Just arriving here. And I'm going to place an intention for our yoga practice together, which is to embrace boredom, which is a really derogatory word. But what I really mean is to embrace stillness, quietude, the space between moments and thoughts. In yoga, boredom is our friend. We feel it set in and we welcome it. We see what happens in that space. So I really challenge you today when you feel like quitting or you feel like wandering off or like your mind wants to wander off, just think about it as a mental exercise to gain further mental fortitude, to gain mental strength, bringing your mind back to the now, embracing the boredom. Just being in the moment, even if it's uncomfortable or boring. And see what happens when you challenge yourself in that way. Take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh out through the mouth. In through the nose, sigh out through the mouth. One more time. Bringing your knees in towards your chest, hugging them in, maybe rocking side to side, and maybe up and down the length of the spine. Coming up to a seated position when you're ready. Crossing your legs or sitting on your heels. And whatever way you normally cross your legs, try to switch it the other way. Sitting up tall here. Closing the eyes. Shoulders back. Chin slightly comes down. Notice how you feel here. Notice what we're starting with, what we're cooking with here. Maybe your energy feels a certain way, or your feelings, emotions feel a certain way. Your physical body feels a certain way. Whatever it is really okay, and is really where you need to be right now. Just want you to take stock, and maybe that'll change throughout the practice. Maybe it'll elevate. We'll see. Bringing the palms together at the heart, bowing the chin towards the hands. We will honor the body during this practice. We will move with intention, move with love, turning it into a moving meditation, if you will. Inhale, reach the arms out to the side and up. Look up. Exhale, bring the arms down on either side, reaching the right arm up and over, side bend. And then coming back up, switching sides. We're going to do a few repetitions of this, really getting to the point of stretch, and then coming back. Flowing with your breath, taking your time. Reaching up in the middle, and then folding forward. Hands come to the mat, shifting forward in the hips and the chest. Reaching it back up, breathing in, and then hands come behind the hips on the mat as you spread the chest wide. Maybe even lift the hips off of the mat here. And then slowly and gently bringing it down, we'll come to all fours. So getting a wrist stretch a little bit here. So maybe you already feel a stretch with the hands flat like this, or maybe you bring the palms facing your knees. And then the more you shift back, the more you'll feel the stretch. So this is stretching the flexors of the forearm and the fingers. So you should feel it through your wrist and the elbows, up all the way up through the forearms. All of the tendons and muscles of the finger flexors, they all run together and attach up at the elbow. And now we'll switch the other way. Maybe feel a stretch with the palms up. And this is stretching all the extensors of the fingers and the forearms that attach to the outside of the elbow. Great, bringing the hands flat and then sending it up to downward dog. Sending the hips up and back, and maybe your heels stay up or maybe you're able to touch them down. It really just depends on how mobile your Achilles tendon is. Breathing deeply, spreading the fingers wide in 10 different directions. And then when you're ready, we're going to walk the hands back towards the feet, coming to a forward fold. Soft knees, head hangs heavy. Walk the hands over to the outside of the left foot, over to the outside of the right foot. Back to center. Halfway lift, hands come to the shins, long spine here. Chin slightly down as you draw the shoulders back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reaching up, reverse swan dive up. And palms come together at the heart. Exhale. So here, just finding some stillness, maybe closing the eyes. Grounding down. Your whole body working here to stand tall, to be balanced, to have this good posture. And then softly soften the knees as you reach the arms up. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and walk the hands out all the way to a plank. You can always drop down onto the knees. And then from here, we're going to shift forward onto the tiptoes. Keep your gaze out forward ahead of your hands. And then keep your elbows really close in toward the rib cage as you lower yourself all the way down to your chest. Untuck the toes. Inhale, baby cobra. You're looking down. You're using your back muscles to lift yourself here, hovering the hands off the ground. Exhaling down. If it feels okay in your spine, you could go up for a high cobra, pressing into the hands. Also, you could go into upward facing dog, pressing into the tops of the feet and lifting the hips off of the mat, the hips and the knees. So honoring the body, finding what works for you. Maybe back bends are not going to be part of your practice today, but curate this practice. Do what you need to do for your body. Add or subtract anything from this. Coming back to your downward dog, and then when you're ready, we're going to lift the right leg in the air. Keeping the hips level so you're not opening up. And then slowly, gently, softly, quietly bring that right foot behind the right wrist. Coming into a runner's lunge here, twisting open to the right with the right arm, reach up, open the chest, breathe in. Exhale, hand comes down. Turning this into a warrior one by hopping the left foot up and out a little bit. And then you're going to lunge into that right leg and reach up. Warrior one. So the back heel is planted with the toes slightly pointing out to the left. And you're sending energy up through the fingers. Notice if the right knee is falling to the left, and use the glutes to get the knee and toes pointing the same direction. Now interlacing the fingers to make a sword with the pointer fingers. Raising your sword. Deep breaths here. Strong and powerful. Engage the abdominals so you're not in a back bend. You're turning the abdominal wall on, neutral spine. Open the chest. Deep breaths. You got it. Bringing the hands to the heart. We're going to go right into a single leg balance. Lifting off of the back foot and up with the knee in front of you, like so. Balancing on the right leg. Nice. Find your balance. If you lose it, just come back to it. Beautiful. So from here, we're going to reach the right arm forward and the left leg back. Just a little bit. Little movement. And then coming back. Hands at the heart, knee forward. Reach back, reach up. And then coming back with the hands. Inhale, open. Exhale, together. Inhale. And exhale. Continue with your own breath. And if you lose your balance, just be patient, be kind to yourself, come back to it. This is not about keeping your balance. This is about challenging it. When I treat patients, I tell them that the perfect balance challenge is the one that makes you fall. Within the safe limitations. So if you lose your balance, that means you're getting better. You're challenging yourself. It's not too easy. All right, coming back to center. You can stay here. You could take a tree pose, or you could take a dancer pose. So we were kind of getting into that position a little bit. So you could be here, or grab the top of the foot with the left hand, and then really turning this into a back bend where you press the foot into the hand. Breathe. Be joyful, smile. And then slowly and gently bring it all the way down. Shake it off. Reach the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Step back to plank or hop back. Option to take a knee plank instead. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, elbows bend, chest down. Untuck the toes. Inhale, one of the back bends we just did. Exhale, come down. Inhale, coming back up to downward dog. Reset. Letting go of the practice so far. You can always take a child's pose if you prefer. There's no right or wrong here. Inhaling, the left leg lifts up. Exhaling, slowly, gently, quietly, left foot hops up. Opening up to a twist to your left. Right hand stays down, left arm reaches up. Open the chest. Exhaling that down. Setting up for warrior one. So you're gonna hop that right foot up and out, planting the heel as you lunge into the left leg. Rising up, warrior one. Things to think about here. The lunge in the left leg, the knee and toes pointing the same direction, not letting the knee fall to the right. Engaging the abdominals here, and then creating a sword with the pointer fingers as you raise your sword here, nice and tall. Find your breath. Go a little bit deeper. Finding quietude, stillness within the body. Embracing the stillness. Embracing the space between thoughts, between moments. Hands to heart. And very controlled, bringing yourself into standing on the left leg. Finding your balance. And then when you're ready, reaching the right leg back and left arm forward. And then bringing it back to the original posture. Inhale, open. Exhale, together. Inhale, open. Exhale. So even while you're moving, you're finding stillness within the mind. How can you move in a way that promotes inner stillness? Last one. Maybe you take a tree pose or a dancer. Capturing the foot with the hand, pushing into the hand with the foot, creating a back bend. If you lose your balance, just come back to it, being very kind and gentle with yourself, understanding this is just a practice. When you're ready, slow and controlled, bring it down to mountain pose. Shake it off. We're going to go into a chair pose here. Bending the knees, sitting the hips back. Knees and toes all pointing the same direction, reaching the arms up. Breathe, sit back a little bit deeper. And then bring it all the way down onto your tiptoes. So if you can tolerate this, this is a place for us to play around a little bit with side crow, which is actually the first arm balance I was able to get. I think it's a little bit easier than regular crow. If you don't want to try it, you can skip it or take a relaxing pose or a stretch you feel like, or you could take a headstand, handstand, forearm stand, whatever you want to work on. So if you're following my cues for side crow, you're going to want to use the hands just like you do in chaturanga. So the fingers spread really wide. You turn to let's do the right side first. So you're on your toes, your knees are super bent, and you're bringing the right hands to the right. So the right hand is in line with the feet. The left hand is in line with the knees. The right elbow is going to serve as a shelf for the right hip. This is the most important part. You glue the hip to the elbow. The left elbow is going to be a shelf for the right knee. So positioning the hands, and then you kind of have to get up off of your, kind of unweight yourself here so that you can get the right hip to the right elbow and the right knee to the left elbow. And then you begin to bear weight into your hands, maybe lift one or both feet. Really engaging your abdominals and focusing on something on the ground to help you keep your balance. So I'll show you on this side too. So for your right side, turning to your right, right elbow to right hip, right knee to left elbow. Lifting yourself up enough that you can glue the hip to the elbow and the knee to the elbow. And then lifting one or both feet, and then you can always tap down to find your balance. Try to stack your knees and feet exactly together. If you tried it on that side and you want to try the left side, for some reason I have a better side. You might notice it's easier on one side than the other. So going to the left, left hip to left elbow, left knee to right elbow. Coming up onto your tiptoes, lifting your hips enough that you can bring the left hip to the left elbow, and then stacking the knees and the feet, beginning to lift off of one and then both feet, engaging the abdominals, finding a focal point. And even if you get like a millisecond of air time, or even just get into this position, A+. And even if you're not doing this, A+ for being in yoga class and making it this far. Cool. If you're ready to move on, go ahead and come to a seat. Let's come to a butterfly position with the feet together and the knees out. And just clasp your hands around your feet and begin some neck circles. So try not to crank back. I feel like that's not that beneficial for the neck. But when you come to the side and then down and then to the other side, you might find some points of stiffness where you can hold it. So when you're on the side, you're stretching the upper traps. When you're down a little bit, you're stretching the levator scapulae. When you're stretching all the way down, maybe some of the paraspinals of the neck, the upper back. So finding wherever you're stiff and if it feels good to hold it. And then finding a nice tall position. Shoulders back. Focusing on your breath. You can stay here or you could do whatever you want, but I'm going to cue pigeon now. So if this is not for your hips, maybe you take something else, or you could take it on your back. So pigeon, you're going to have one knee forward, one knee a little bit forward, and then see, I'm a little bit externally rotated, but I'm not bringing the foot super far up. I'm going to keep it pretty close in, and then I'm going to stretch the other leg out. So let's start with the right side. So here we're in full pigeon. If you were taking this on your back, you would just do a figure 4 stretch, or you could do it sitting like this. So you're here. And notice if you feel like you're rolling onto the right side. So you're probably getting less of a hip stretch with that, but if it's more comfortable, you could. Or try to keep your hips level so that you're feeling a stretch through here. Like I said, not everyone's hips are made for this stretch. So just if you feel numbness, tingling, pain, do something else. You could stay here, or you could come down to the forearms, or bring the forehead to the palms. Find your breath, and try to release all the tension. If you're holding in your jaw, your shoulders, your foot, if it feels okay in this position, just melt. There's a common misconception that the foot needs to be really far up like so, but that is a very extreme amount of hip external rotation, and you're usually butting up against bone, and then you're gapping other joints that should be gapping, and it could lead to bad things. So just find a gentle stretch. Go to a point of gentle stretch. Embrace the stillness. Inner stillness and outer stillness. Embracing perhaps boredom. Imagine the thoughts in your mind are like circling a drain. And you're just arriving more and more into this moment, into your body, as the thoughts just kind of trickle down the drain. Noticing your breath, perhaps deep, perhaps shallow. Noticing that point where it turns into an inhale when it transforms into an exhale. And it happens over and over. See if you can identify the exact point where it changes from an inhale to an exhale and vice versa. When you're ready, we'll swing the left leg around and take some windshield wipers with the legs. dropping one way, then the other, as it feels good to you. Deep breaths. And if that was feeling okay on the right side, let's take it on the left. So you bring the left knee bent with the foot in, and then swinging the right leg behind, setting up for a pigeon on this side. So taking whatever variation you need and deciding if you're going to, if you want to rock onto the side of the hips, that's fine, but it isolates the hip stretch when you keep the hips, the pelvis more level, the hip points level with the ground. So maybe you stay here, maybe you bring the forearms down, bring the forehead down. Trying to release tension wherever you can. Letting go of control in this moment. You're just surrendering into the stretch. You're surrendering into the present moment. Noticing the sensations in the body. Encouraging yourself to embrace the stillness, the boredom, the silence within. When does the inhale become the exhale? When does the exhale become the inhale? Slowly and gently making your way out of it, doing a little windshield wiper move, if that feels good. And then we're going to transition into a yogi squat. So walking the hands up a little bit, bringing the feet in, coming into a yogi squat. So maybe you're on the toes, maybe you want to lift up into a higher squat, or maybe you're on the heels and bringing the palms together. Lengthening the spine, slightly bringing the chin down. And then bringing it to a forward fold. So hands come down, lifting the hips up. Head hangs heavy. Feet are about the hip width or the width of the mat, either way. Deep breaths. Let it go. Swaying side to side here. And you could take ragdoll with the arms or just stay here. Feeling the stretch in the hamstrings, the decompression in the neck and the back. Deepening the breath. And then widening the feet out. You can always turn if you want to use the width of your yoga mat. Coming into a wide-legged forward fold. staying on your hands or coming down to the forearms, perhaps even the crown of the head reaching towards the floor. You're welcome to take a headstand if you feel like doing another inversion, or just stay here with me, stretching through the hamstrings and the adductors of the legs. Deep breathing deeply. Bringing the hands to the outsides of the ankles on either side. Bringing the left hand to the right ankle, reaching up with the right arm. Back down, right hand to outside of left ankle, left arm reaches up. Back down. And then bringing your hands underneath the face and bringing yourself all the way down and back to a child's pose, either with the knees and feet parallel or the knees wide. And then you can have the arms out long or tuck the arms alongside you, grabbing onto the feet, perhaps giving yourself your arch a little pressure, the arches of the feet. Deep breaths. Noticing how you feel. Noticing the sensations in the body. And then stretching it all the way out onto your stomach, into crocodile pose. So the way that you get into that is forearms stacked, or the hands stacked together. Forearms are up by the top of your mat, and bring your feet wide, the width of your mat. And then bring the forehead down to your hands. So the chin is slightly tucked in. The reason why I always ask you to tuck the chin is it helps lengthen the back of the neck, which is often too curved with that forward head position that we have using our phones and computers. If you're comfortable here, you can stay here for the remainder of the closing of class. If not, you could roll onto your back, or you could sit up, or lay with your legs up the wall. Finding your final relaxation pose. I really encourage you to stick with this. This will seal in the message of mental fortitude, of embracing the stillness within, the perhaps boredom that we sometimes feel when we're just alone and quiet. So wherever you are, whatever position, I want you to close your eyes. Allow the body to soften. Allow your awareness to soften. Unclenching the jaw and letting the tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. Allowing the eyeballs to be deep in the socket. The eyelids are heavy. Relaxing the face. And together, we as a yoga community, maybe not all at the exact same time, but whenever you're watching this video, we are going to be still together and embrace stillness together. Again, picturing that the thoughts that pop into the mind right now are just circling the drain as you become more and more in tune with this moment, with this inhale, with this exhale. I want you to identify the exact point when your next inhale becomes an exhale, and when your next exhale becomes an inhale. And think about what that feels like to you. Is it like an ocean wave coming in and out? Is it like a breeze blowing back and forth? What does it feel like? Even with a lot going on in your mind, in the world, in your life, there are these things we can count on, that we can seek comfort in. The way that our inhales will always become exhales. Our exhales will always become inhales. And that breath will just keep going. That heart will just keep beating. The sun will keep rising and setting. The plants will keep growing. There are things you can count on that you can use to ground you in times of struggle. So seek comfort in your breath, in your body. That you're here being breathed. That you're here with your heart being beat. You have a home, and your home is your body. And somehow it's all connected to all life, all living things. Taking a moment here on whatever level to notice that, to try to feel that connection of you and your life to the grass, the sun, and all other beings, animals, people. Giving yourself a little hug here. Taking a deep breath in. If you're on your stomach, maybe roll to your side. And if you're on your back, beginning to roll to your side into a fetal position. And when you're ready, we'll come up onto a seat. closing out the practice. I'm sending you all lots of love, lots of peace, and I hope a little bit of boredom this week, this day, so that you can feel challenged to bring out your yoga skills, notice your breath, and find some stillness and peace within you. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you all very soon. Bye.